Welcome, everybody. Should be starting here really soon. So this will be kicking off the first race. We got ceriam here on the left and quatropus on the right. And we're off. Alright, so Boogey percent is a category that's usually for like races and whatnot, and it's about 30-ish% of the run. And it's completely non-manipulated, so both of these runs are going to be really different. And a lot of it is going to be based on how they decide to handle the RNG. It's going to be pretty similar up till about 5.5 minutes in or so, and that's when, well, about 5 minutes it'll start changing up. So ceriam is a veteran runner, and quatropus is an up-and-coming runner here. He's been getting pretty good, so it should be a pretty interesting race. Now, there's a level of skill you kind of need to run this, but at the same time, RNG could completely shift and one person could just take over the lead. So nobody is out of the race until it's over. So we got our 1-and-8-second cutscene here, and we'll be grabbing the bat from the room and equipping it. We'll be making our way up to the top of the hill to talk to Pokey and then coming back down. It's going to look pretty similar between both runners.
So in this early part here, what are some of the things that we're looking for that would establish a more experienced runner versus a less experienced to help them improve?
Definitely going to be movement. Like movement, it doesn't seem like much, but is a huge factor in this game. The better your movement is, you're going to save seconds. It may not seem like much, but I've seen people lose 5 seconds in the first 2 minutes just to movement alone. So bumping into things is going to cost you a lot of time. So you want to have, as clean as movement as you can. You do lose frames doing diagonal movements, so you do want to do like cardinal movements over diagonal unless a diagonal is quicker. So you'll see most of the runners are going to be kind of gliding off of things, and it'll line them up to give them a straight movement.
Fortunately for Earthbound, you've got a couple minutes here just to get used to the movement patterns, explore. Normally you'd be talking to everyone and exploring everything, grabbing the present along the way. So it's got a nice little introduction section here for basic movement concepts and all that.
Oh, definitely. The spawns are off right now, so you can do whatever you want.
And thankfully for us, when we try to manipulate the game, RNG3 is off as well.
And if you don't know what that is, RNG3 is like a movement-based RNG value that updates every time you cross one of the invisible 64 by 64 pixel grids. So there's like a really big area you can move around in each square, but as soon as you cross that, it'll update that value, and then every 16th, I think it's 16th value that updates, it'll update your RNG 1 and 2. So when you're trying to manipulate, you have to have that RNG3 value exactly the same. Otherwise, it'll update your RNG 1 and 2, and then everything else just gets thrown off. Another small time save a lot of people won't do is talking to an NPC from a distance. It doesn't seem like much, but it could save you a half a second. So you'll know, like, an experienced runner will talk to something from a distance, or if it's like an NPC that follows you, such as Pokey here, you want to talk to him about right in the middle, because it's the shortest distance he has to walk to get to you.
Until you end up in a situation where you got two NPCs and it picks the wrong one on you.
Yeah, a lot of the times with like the old walk, you would talk to the dog over Ness's mom, and that was a rip for the manipulation. So you get to meet Ness's dad. He's a phone. You'll see him a lot. He's all over the place, but we only talk to him twice. All right, here we go. So this is where the RNG starts coming into play. Since it's not manipulated, you cannot control what happens here, and you're just gonna see them wait and try to get a free walk down through here. So
Snake.
some NPCs have different movement patterns. There will be some that only move when you walk, and there will be some that'll only or they'll chase you down no matter where you are. There are the crows here that kind of swing back and forth, as you can see. Now they could swing away from you. They could swing straight towards you, like just beeline towards you. Or they can just completely troll you and move away, and then as soon as you get close, swing over and grab you. Now this is what kind of sets like an experienced runner from a new one, is how you handle the RNG from these enemies. It is possible to get pincered, but usually you can make your way around them or just despawn them. So that's going to be a death for Quattro. It's not a huge time loss. I mean, you only respawn right inside and he can just make his way back up. Something he's probably not considering is you lose your psychic points when you die, so he doesn't have any psychic points right now.
Yeah, this is one of the better places to take a death because you can actually just instantly re-heal versus going back up to your bedroom at this point.
So he's probably not aware of it, but he's going to need to find like a butterfly or something along the way. Alright, so Cerium's made it to the top of the hill here. We're going to get Buzz. He's like the best character in the game. It's unfortunate you only get him for like a minute and a half. But you'll see Quattro over here, he's actually stuttering and moving it out of the way so that he can go around. Smart move. And he'll be making his way to the top. So, I mean, this isn't too bad. This could go either way. This is way too early in to make a judgment. Both of the runners had like a pretty bad hill climb. Quattro. They're saying your microphone's low. Cerium is playing on console and Quattro is playing on emulator, but in a short category like this, it's like a 10-second difference. The difference is so marginal that, you know, it's not... So this is going to be a scripted fight. It's going to be shield attack from Buzz. You basically just auto fight right through it. It can go 2 rounds to 5 rounds, depending on how bad of RNG you get. A fire is actually one of the worst moves you can do because it has to hit every kid and it can take a while. So optimally, you want them to either guard or freeze. You'll see Quattro grabbing the bread roll there. That's going to be useful for later on whenever he needs to heal. You don't want to use your life ups until you get to Frank. So that's why we'll grab the bread roll to heal after the Pogo Punk. And Starman down. Quattro's getting ready to start the fight. It's going to be the same thing. Just go to auto fight and that's it. So Cerium's going to be going in here and getting... Oh, 107, good roll. Optimally, you want to do this in 2 rounds. There's no way to do it in 1. The Super Nintendo runs at 60.08, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's around that.
The SNES,
SNES Classic runs at 60, just due to the HDMI limitations of it being conformed to that standard.
The SNES Classic is a perfectly acceptable way to run it. I'm pretty sure the SNES Classic uses the same thing as a Virtual Console. Yeah, Snoogans, it's perfectly fine to run on that. It runs the same as emulator, basically. So I'll be starting daylight here. Now he's going to need to go get the Mr. Baseball cap, which we'll be selling. And you'll be buying a regular baseball cap, which gives one less defense, so that you'll have enough money in order to buy a cheap bracelet, which gives 5 defense, I think it is. So it's just a better solution. And this is the part we call the zoo, because it's always full. As you can see here, it's not always wise to stutter past anything here, because you can get pincered in there, but he got a lucky break there.
They're just friendly, Erythium. They want to be petted. Come to the petting zoo.
So he's going into this little hideout here. This kid's gonna give him his hat. I don't know why, but he does.
And what are we gonna do with that cap?
So he's gonna equip it because it's...
Oh, sorry.
What?
I was gonna say, what are we gonna do with that cap right after equipping it? Like a good friend?
We're gonna sell it. So, I mean, you could, you know, go to the sell option and then sell it, or you can just buy the regular baseball cap, which is going to be faster because it'll give you the option to sell it right afterwards. So you'll see he'll buy the T-ball bat, which is going to give you your offense bonus you'll need. It's going to buy the baseball cap, which gives one less defense bonus than the Mr. Baseball cap, but the 99 bucks will allow you to buy a cheap bracelet, which is 5 defense bonus. So he's going to be doing a specific walk here. He's going to be trying to avoid some spawn plates below by hitting behind the hospital here. There's an off by 1 error in the code for checking when to do like a spawn plate, and we abuse this in a few different places. So the Pogo Punks, they could be pretty brutal. Now, if they hit you first turn, I mean, Ceriam got a smasher, which is perfect. If they hit you first turn, ideally you want to use the bread roll, because you do not want to die. They can do another 12 damage, you're down to 9 HP, and if you were to miss or something, you're dead. So ideally you'll want to heal first turn if it hits you that hard. Otherwise you just want to kind of risk it.
Yeah, there is an alternative strategy of picking up the can of fruit juice for those who like fruit juice. It just depends on how much damage you took and what your risk tolerance is.
Oh, definitely. The fruit juice is what? 6 to 7
average
HP, I
on
think it
6.
heals? Or is it 5 and 6?
I usually only see 6.
It's good for if you only get hit for like 4 damage or so from them, and you want to be full for the next couple. Or if you're like 20-something HP, you know, you want to heal up just enough to get through the next 2. Usually Yes Man Jr. doesn't hit you. He just kind of messes around. And you take him out with 2 hits, so it's pretty easy to get through. So we're heading into Frank here. You're going to see him check his health to make sure he's full. And we'll be heading in. So Frank is a very, very dangerous fight. It's very RNG. So he can either talk dirty to you here, or he can do a low hit or a high roll hit. You want to heal after every single hit. Otherwise, he's going to just decimate you. So you'll see every time Ceriam takes damage. Oh, well, lucky smash. Okay, so Frank's got 65 HP. Usually, I think 5 to 6 hits. Unless you get a smash, which is usually going to be a 47 or a 51, depending on your offense roll. And it's a very scary fight to be in. So Frankenstein has 90 HP, I believe. I think it's like 6 or 7 hits. And he's usually not too bad. He's pretty scripted. His first move is always going to be a low roll, and then every other turn he's going to do either a low or a high roll. So you kind of have to use your best judgment on this fight. Usually he's not too bad unless you're running low on food.
My typical approach is once you go below
that
40 HP threshold, then I kind of start healing, not knowing whether or not the Terran 2 is going to kill you or not.
Generally, you can be around 35 and take a hit. He doesn't usually hit that high. And because he only blows smoke the next turn, you can just heal up on that turn. So you're going to see Ceriam walk out and then back out to him. He's going to take a full heal here because you absolutely need it for the grind. Now, if you were to have 5 psychic points and full health, you could take the chance and start your slow grind then. But generally, for like a race, it's preferred to just go ahead and take the heal. Quatropus here, he's in a bit of a situation. He doesn't have many psychic points, so he's going to use a burger. Let's see if he gets through this without any psychic points. Same thing with Frank. He's going to either talk nasty, or he's going to hit some rolls on you. Quatropus is getting lucky. He has a really good offense roll. Ooh, and a smash. This could be bad. Oh, that's lucky. So this is a good fight. Like, this is a very good Frank fight. He's got 2 burgers, and I think he'll level up and get enough for another life up. Perfect. Ceriam went to town hall to talk to the mayor. He got the key to the entertainer's shack, and you'll see he'll be going to buy some burgers now. You're gonna need burgers to get through the rest of Onet. Now you'll generally have 3, so you'll buy 5 plus the amount you'll use on Frank. So in this case, he didn't use any. He's only got to buy 5 burgers. It's actually a time save to do that because most of the time people will just keep buying until it's full, and you really don't want that. Like, that's an unnecessary time loss, so just count how many you use. Quattro making it through. He's gonna go walk out and take the full heal. Cerium's making his way up to the entertainer shack here. Now the enemies at this point, you're a high enough level that they're just gonna run away from you, so they don't pose a threat. As you'll see here with the snake. So he'll be making his way in a giant step. Now the goal here is to grind out 22 slugs. There's a couple different strategies. You can just get 4 packs all along the bottom floor. You can do 16 on the bottom floor and then go for a 6-pack up top. Or if you want to play risky, you can do 12 on the bottom, 4 on the middle floor, and then 6 on top. It's really runner's preference.
I know I'm a personal fan of that progressive method, trying to move closer to that rope and take advantage of the spawns, but when they don't want to spawn, they just don't want to spawn, and it's not fun.
Yeah, this is a very, very RNG section here. You may get fights, you may not. Now, where he's actually grinding out the spawn plate here, I usually grind right there, but you really only have to walk onto like the little rock pebbles on the ground and then walk back. Like, he's walking a little too far to the right for me. Alright, so Quattro's going to be buying some burgers. I think he used 1, so he may need to buy 6. So you should level up on 4, 12, and then 22. So we're looking to get level 8 because we need a Rockin' in order to beat Titanic Ant. It's possible to beat him at a lower level if you were to get bomb drops, but other than that, it's not possible. So as you can see, he's kind of walking back and forth, hoping to spawn 2 different plates, and it's apparently not working. I think there's like 5 tiles. And you could just kind of pick and choose which one you want to do. Some people will grind out the beginning 2 tiles. Some people will do the door despawn. Every method works. It's just how you feel like doing it. Alright, so Quattro is going to be making his way up to do it. We'll see how he fares. Now this could be like a catching up point here. Quattro could just get, 2 packs right away. I'd say an ideal PB paced run, you'd be wanting to get out of this cave by about 20 minutes or so, but it's really RNG dependent. And Quattro getting his first 4-pack. Now, the first pack, you generally only want to bash because there's a higher chance you're going to do a low roll if you didn't get enough offense. So you'll do between like 26 and 32-ish damage. And they have 30 HP, I think. So generally, you want to just go ahead and bash them out instead of auto fight. Quattro getting a smash in there. Completely unnecessary, but it feels good to do it. Did Cerium get hamburgers? Yes, he did. You can do this burgerless, but it's very risky.
So where are we on the slug count now? I lost track.
I think Cerium has 12 and Quattro has 4.
So
He's either got 12 or 16. So Quattro working on a second pack now. See, this is what I'm talking about. You can start catching up now.
Quattro could easily surpass
And another
Cerium
smash.
if Cerium does not have any luck with that mouse there going away.
Yeah, sometimes it won't despawn, and sometimes you feel like you're going far enough and you're not, and it'll just stay on there till you despawn it. Okay, so yeah, Cerium's on 16 now.
I'm curious.
This is where stuttering can come into play. You can generally lose a lot of time if you're not good at stuttering, and a mouse just follows you across the entire place. Stutter stepping is an interesting mechanic. You basically move a small amount of frames per movement. I think it's like 4 or 6 they start to follow you. So you generally want to move less than that many frames per movement. Apparently not everybody has Daniel's luck where you just hold left, get all of the
Hold
slugs.
left to win.
And that is how the world record was set. Uh-oh. Alright, so this is a good situation. You know, he was having a little trouble stuttering there. Taking this battle will give you iframes and allow you to just kind of walk away from him. So Cerium's going to take a mouse, I guess, and that'll give him his 22 that he needs. I would definitely life up before taking a mouse because they do have a really high chance to smash on you, and they'll take 2 hits to kill. You would rather take a mouse over an ant because an ant can call for help. And you don't ideally want to take another 4-pack if you only need 1 more. Alright, so Cerium's got level 8 here. You can see he got 4 offense. Now I believe Drifting Sky said 4 is sometimes at 24 offense, sometimes it's not. You want 24 offense because it's enough offense that you're going to one-hit any Antoid, so that in the case that one pops up, you can just take the battle and instant win it. Yeah, Quattro's coming in close here. I think that's what, 20 for him now?
Yeah, I think so right there. Now, just because Cerium is ahead here, there is still the gatekeeper of Titanic Ant, who can just be plain old mean, as per your personal favorite emoji there.
Now you see, sometimes it's better to just take the fight and walk through than it is to stutter around him. In that case, he chose to stutter around. I would have personally just taken it because it was a single. So you need a butterfly here to fill up your psychic points. He's checking his offense now to make sure he's got 24. So, was that the last pack for Quattro? I wasn't watching.
To be honest, I'm not sure. We'll find out in a second after the battle here.
Okay, no, that must be 20 for him. Alright, so Cerium here, you can see he demonstrated the auto win. Just didn't feel like stuttering, so it's better to just sometimes take it. The problem is it can give you a cookie, and occasionally if you're not paying attention, you can mess up and use the cookie instead of a burger. And that's not a fun time. So Titanic Ant, this is going to be the first real gatekeeper of the run because it's a huge time loss. He can do a few different moves. He can do like a low roll, about 20 damage, a higher roll of about 40, defense down, or he can start draining your psychic points with a magnet here. So ideally, if you were to take too much damage after the first rockin', you're going to want to use a burger. Or if he does like a magnet or something, you want to use a burger instead, because you don't want him to take it away, like the 10 psychic points you'll need for a rockin'. That was a really good ant battle, though.
Yeah, Cerium had some really good luck there. Both Rockins adding up to 212 damage, and Titanic Ant has 235 HP, so that was effectively about 2 bat smashes away.
All right, so Quattro's making his way to the top. I didn't see if he got level 8. So ideally, you want to have around 5 burgers when you head into cops. Most people choose to, not pick up the burger in here because a lot of the times it's not needed. But you can get those ant fights where he just constantly hits you. I'd rather grab it during a race, I'd rather have too many than not enough.
It's convenient, it's right there, and could save you some extra time from burger shopping depending on how many you have.
Alright, so Quattro is choosing to stutter around it. He must not have 24 offense. Yep. Okay, so he ended up with 23. It's unfortunate because they have 34 HP, and you usually do between 32 and 33 on them. Luckily, he didn't take any damage there. You don't want to take damage because you don't want to use a burger here, and you definitely don't want to use your psychic points. Alright, so Ceriam heading out. He's going to be going to the police station to take on the cop gauntlet. Oh, Quattro taking a double battle here. So he's got a choice. He can either risk it, or he can go back out and grab another butterfly. And there's the cookie.
Cookie.
Alright, he's going to choose to risk it. You could still beat him as long as he doesn't shield first turn. It's just going to prove to be a bit more difficult because Rockin' can do from like 40 to 120 or something. Usually around 60 to 70. Ooh, 100. That is a really good roll.
135 to go.
So ideally you want to heal below 55 because he can do about 40 damage. Ooh, and he used a cookie. That's why I don't like getting a cookie drop. So you can get stuck in this healing loop. That's one of the problems with Ant. Now, the shield lasts for 3 turns, or you can smash and remove it right away. Ooh, and the smash. Good thing he had the life up.
Yeah, that and a follow-up attack when you're not ready for it, that is a terrible combo that just sends you crying home.
Alright, Cerium has started the cop gauntlet here. You'll fight 4 cops and then strong, which is why it's such a run killer, because they could just do crushing chops and burn through all of your food. Now, the strat's pretty much the same thing. Between 55 and 60 HP is like a safe range. Anything below that and you really want to heal, they can smash for about 45 or so. And the crushing chops usually do between 30 and 35 or something. Seems like he's healing every time he takes damage. I mean, that's not a bad strat for racing. So, you can always buy more burgers. I would rather him, you know, heal every time and get through the fight than have to waste time. So, on a cop, usually between 35 and 45, you're going to be choosing a life up or a burger. Now, anything below 45, I prefer to just do a life up because you're going to end up, you know, in the life up loop or like a healing loop because burgers do like 45 to 60. And if you get a low roll and he does 35, you're immediately having to heal again. And it just becomes a big time loss. Now, ideally, on the 4th cop, you want to end with around 65 HP or so. I mean, you could deal with less, because you're most likely going to be doing like a double rockin'. So we'll see what Strong's going to do. Now, he can just, you know, mess around. He could be on guard, or he could just decide to end you and do 50 damage. And that's a problem because, you know, if you're like 65, 70 HP, he's going to hit you down to a critical range, and if he does it again, you're dead. Cerium played it smart, decided to heal in first. And with double rockin', usually kills. I mean, it's been pretty good for most people. You can actually get low rolls and not kill them.
Or you can have the ultimate combo.
So that was a pretty good
double
onet.
rock and miss.
Oh, yes, that is possible. It's very hard to come back from that.
It is possible, I'll tell you that, though.
So we'll see if Quattro chooses to go buy an extra burger. And he is.
Cerium finishing strong, sub 30 onet. That's an extremely good time. That's what you kind of want to shoot for in races. RNG determines what time you get out, but sub 30, real good time there.
As I mentioned before, 5 burgers is enough. We'll see if Quattro decides to buy 1 or 2 here. Alright, he's choosing to buy 2. 3. Oh, Okay, so he's definitely playing it safe. All right, so there's a burger here. This is kind of like a, do you have enough food after strong? Do you need to pick it up kind of thing? It's kind of like a runner's preference. I choose to have 2 burgers and then buy a croissant. But some people will just go with nothing but burgers. Some people will only use croissants. So he'll be making his way into the department store. You need to withdraw about 540-ish. I mean, this is Boogey percent, so you want to withdraw just a little bit more because you want to die with over $200. It's $199 or more. So that way you end up with at least 100 afterwards. And that way you can just revive Paula without having to stop at the ATM. He's going to be making a save because it's going to set up a death warp later on. And Quattro starting cops here. We'll see how he handles it. Like, the cops can be, generally nice or just angry and just crushing chop every turn. That was a pretty good, first cop.
Friendly. Only 15 damage each time. Yeah, I would take that anytime.
So you see Ceriam here. He's doing, like, the straightest line possible. That's kind of a sign of a veteran runner. Like, there's different ways you can walk there. Some people choose to go to the other side of the school. Some people will just kind of walk off to the left and come back down around Apple Kid's house. Alright, so we're giving Apple Kid some food. He's hungry. I mean, you can give a bottle of water and he's okay with it. And he asks for $200 to help with his research. So you oblige. $200 is nothing. I mean... So at this point, generally you'd be wandering around trying to figure out what to do. And you'll end up making your way to PRV at this point. But it's blocked by a pencil, so we'll make our way back, and Apple Kid will give us a call, let us know he made an invention. What does he make? An item to get rid of pencils.
Plot devices. Oh.
Now this is a bit of a rough area. Going through these caves, you could get a free walk, or you can despawn 12 times. You never know. I believe these are 8% spawn plates. I don't believe that number, though.
The cop is giving Quattro...
Ideally, you want to have a butterfly that's close.
I was going to say, the cop is giving Quatropus the business right now with those crushing chops.
Oh yeah, he's not having luck. Okay, so that was a risk Ceriam chose not to take. I personally would have went for it. A UFO is like a crow, just kind of zooms back and forth. Now, generally they'll get stuck on the terrain. But, I mean, like I said, that's just, if you feel you can get around it, you'll go for it. Otherwise, play it safe. So, double rocking strong again. Ooh, really good hits.
Nice.
And Quattro making it out with a 32-25-ish, something like that. That's good. Both runners got through. We've seen runs where somebody will die on strong, and that's unfortunate because that's like a 4-minute time loss. Yeah, 4 minutes is nothing. I mean, anything can happen. Ceriam may get pincered in PRV and have to walk back through.
And we got Boogey 10 itself, too.
Oh yeah, Boogey Tent could just put you in a death loop. Some runners will choose to, save. But... I don't think it's worth it. I mean, if you die to Boogey Tent, you might as well just walk back to town and revive them.
I think in that case, it's more of not having that big bottle rocket for that fight.
Oh yeah, that's an unfortunate thing to happen. One of the deviations from like a glitchless run is you don't need the exit mouse in Boogey percent. So you'll see both of them skip that. Jeez, they're playing linebacker here, man.
Oh man, Quattro can't feed.
Alright, so Ceriam got the phone call. He's making his way back to Berglund Park now, and Apple Kid's going to give you the pencil eraser. So you'll see him making his way back to the pencil now. Some people choose to walk below the building, some walk behind. You'll see he's deciding to walk behind them. Both are acceptable options. I mean, there's like one spawn plate behind them. Usually pretty safe. I mean, there could be ninja spawns, but it's not very often. Okay, that was an excessive walk there. Mushrooms have like a very small aggro radius, and he was choosing to go below because there can be spawns behind the trees. Quattro making his way down to Apple Kid. All right, ceriam is. Here we go. Now the problem is sometimes when you walk in there could be a spawn just off screen, and you can't despawn it without doing a door despawn, and it's like 4 or 5 seconds every time you have to walk through that door. Alright, now PRV, it's generally very RNG based, but like a skilled runner will know how to handle the RNG. You're going to be dealing with a bunch of zooming around spawns. You'll be dealing with trees that just kind of chase you down, but they're really slow. And you'll have sprouts, which are just like the mushrooms. So there are different ways you'll see him move. Like you saw him go up a little bit. It avoids the spawn plate below. You'll see him come up to this tree, which is doing another spawn skip. And he's grabbing a second butterfly. Usually you'll need 2 butterflies. Well, he's getting a pretty clean PRV so far. We'll see how Quattro fares.
One of the options coming up here in PRV
What?
is the hard hat for those who are less comfortable with the run. You can go left at that fork there and walk over to a dead-end present box and get a hard hat, which I believe grants you, what, overall 1 or 2 more defense than you would with the current route?
I never really checked, so I don't know offhand. So this is a situation where you can get pincered. Ooh, that's just some bad luck. This is PRV for you. Anything can happen. I mean, you may be the best runner in the world. If RNG goes against you, you're done. So most of the time, you're going to want to just rock in and kill them and then go back for a butterfly. Ooh, this could be bad. Oh, 1 HP away. Very close.
The auto fight coming in handy here.
Make the cultist hit for 18 and 24 instead of 30 plus. That is for manip runs. For a non-manip, if you would have the cheap bracelet and the hard hat, they do between 8 and 13. Whereas generally they'll do between 12 and 16. So you'll see you had to go back and get a butterfly. I mean, that's just how Earthbound works. You may be way ahead and then just out of nowhere, RNG kicks you in
Shins.
the area.
Kicks you in the shins.
And the shins. Yes.
That really hurts too.
It just knocks you back down. Door triggers are usually on the left side or on the bottom, depending on which way they're facing. So you can see he just kind of walked up from the bottom to hit the door trigger to avoid the snake. So he's going to come in here, he's going to buy the bat, and he's going to buy the Holmes hat here, which gives pretty good defense bonus. The bat really raises your offense though. And he's choosing not to get any croissants, so he must have 3 burgers still. Quattro making his way to Berglund Park here. He's going to get the pencil eraser, and we'll see how he handles against PRV. We call it Peaceful Rip Valley. Non-manip, it's not so bad, but like on a manipped run, like without the manipulation through PRV, it was very dangerous because you took a lot of damage. So a lot of runs ended there. So you gotta talk to Paula. She'll give you the Franklin badge. Otherwise you can't fight Car Painter. Would have got sub 5, you didn't lose 4 minutes of Mole Cave. Mole Cave is a very dangerous place. If you're a new runner, I always recommend 2 refreshing herbs. Spooky comes out, he's like, yada yada, I'm not gonna fight you, these guys will. This is a very scary fight. They can call for help, and they can hit pretty decently. And the crow can steal your food. Very rude.
Sometimes more annoying.
So ideally, you're gonna want to one-hit them, they have 94 HP. Ooh, and the
Wow.
perfect fight.
Sometimes it's really annoying when that crow doesn't get hit by that rocket and then you're just sitting there trying to kill it.
Yeah, I think rocket's determined by speed, and crows have very high speed. I think they're the 3rd fastest.
They are the third.
Second or
They are
third
the
fastest.
third fastest.
3rd, okay.
1 second.
I believe their speed's like 77 or something.
I will tell you in a second.
But they are very hard to hit. Alright, so he's making his way into Cultist HQ here. You're going to see him kind of make his way through these. You'll fight one Cultist battle. And it could also be kind of scary if you don't have enough food, because you can call for help here. And if you've already burned double Rockins up, you'll only get one Rockin for this fight. Quattro making his way through PRV. We'll see how his RNG fares. So you see him come around this corner here. Now generally I like to walk straight right and walk behind that little tree there, because there can be spawns off to the right that'll zoom over to you, and I like to, being able to see them before they see me. Alright, Quattro is not using the spawn plate skip. So the trees are slower than you. You can get around them pretty quickly. Ooh. That Robo was not wanting to give up on him there. But you can see they kind of zoom around and get stuck on things. They're usually not too dangerous unless it's like a straightaway. So he can feel lag. He was kind of hoping to despawn until he saw that tree there. You'll see the game kind of slow down a little bit and you can see the lag. Overall, not a terrible PRV here so far. So does he need a butterfly still? Nope. This card painter here, he's scripted. He's got 2 different sets of 3 moves. He's always going to do a lightning, a life up, attack, and then he's going to do a lightning, a shield, and then attack, and then just repeat that loop. So ideally you want to go in with around 50-ish HP, and you want him to die on the second lightning reflect. If you can kill him before that, awesome, but it's pretty rare for it to happen. Ceriam getting through there with not too much issue. So you want to go in with but 2 food generally. If you want to play safe, you can grab the skip sandwich or the safety croissant there. After card painter, you need to go back and get Paula. Now, there are no spawns in the cave anymore. As soon as card painter is gone, all of the cultists are gone. So it should be a pretty free walk through here. Now there are crows still. You can get sniped by a crow. Alright, so Quattro, playing a little risky there. Generally you'll go below the fence, because they do tend to spawn above it. And, kind of do... Oh, that's bad luck.
That's a lot of crows.
Okay, he got a green swirl on that.
Is Rocking good against Card Painter? Rocking is good against Card Painter within the cycles before the shield goes up, and whether or not you have enough to quote-unquote waste one on the first turn and hoping for 1-turn kill, or the additional damage up until the healing the shield goes up, that it no longer becomes effective.
If you can somehow find a butterfly and have like 30-ish psychic points, generally you want to bash first turn and then just rockin' for 3 turns before he gets his shield up. You don't want to be a high HP after card painter though. Okay, so Quattro making it through. You can see how to use 2 rockins there. Now the cookie in this case is a good thing, because if he does run out of food or something, he will have that cookie to be able to heal. You ideally want to... Okay, well he got rid of it, but ideally you want to do it on a turn that you take damage. So that way you'll have the least amount of HP for the next round, because you can heal on the second turn of his 3 rounds. If you have to. Because you want to be a low HP for the Death Warp. Now an ideal Death Warp, you're going to have... Nest die first, and then Paula, because then you could just auto-fight with Paula. Ooh, oh, Jaina blocking him. So that was a good Death Warp. Really good Death Warp.
That's really good.
Now, if you have... Yeah, it was... if you have at least 199, it's gonna divide that in half, but it's gonna take the 99 away instead of the 100. So you'll have $100 to revive Paula. It's not much, but it is a small time save, and it is nice to have. Ooh, and the call for help, so he needs to rock in here. Ooh, and another call for help. This is very bad. This could be a scary situation, because if you don't kill any of them, they can all hit you down very quickly. So ideally, he's going to want to... Okay, well, he killed it. So if you wouldn't have killed that one, you would have wanted to heal there because, you know, 2 of them can hit you for 35 HP or so. And it may put you below that limit where you can, you know, outspeed them and heal. But he got through. I would have personally gone back to the skip sandwich as an extra safety item. Looks like he's going to take the risk. So Ceriam doing some, you know, miscellaneous story triggers here. You need to revive Paula because you can't bring her to her father dead. Alright, so Quattro starting card painter. We'll see the same 3 patterns here. So he's going to generally a bash first turn. Okay, you got 1 lightning reflect. Ooh, really nice hit too. Card painter's got like 265 HP, I think? 250, 265, something like that. Alright, so you'll see him heal now. Good to use a food item, because you don't want to be too high of HP.
He has 262 HP.
262, okay. Alright, so this turn he can actually heal on the 3rd. He's choosing to heal on this turn. I would not have done that because you do want to take the damage before you heal, so that way your HP is not so high. I don't know. And, okay, card painter down.
It'll be interesting to see what Quattro decides to do for a Death Warp, whether he's going to take the mole, or if he's going to go back out into PRV and looking for a higher hitting target. Or maybe just walk back.
Walking back's never really preferred. I mean, you could, you know, take the chance of try to walk back, and if something comes along, you know, just go ahead and kill you then. So Ceriam here, he's going to be starting the show. It's about a minute long. Quattro is going to be getting Paula, and we'll see what he decides to do. A lot of the times you just kind of decide case by case, depending on your HP and whatnot. Always mole. I mean, you know, sometimes it's better to go to PRV. It's like an extra 13 seconds, but you may get 2 enemies that just hit you down right away. Yeah, he could also try to go for the life noodles and take a death there, but I think at that point, your time save's very minimal. Like, if you're not grabbing that on the way through, it's really not going to save as much time as you'd like. So ideally at this point, you want to have as few items in your inventory as possible, because every time you have to open that, there is a small amount of lag based on how many you have in there. Since he didn't have, but I think like 1 burger left, his inventory was pretty small. Whereas I think Ceriam had like a full inventory. So you want to drop the tree bracelet and the Holmes hat. Some people will move it for like glitches and stuff. And the teddy bear off of Paula, because the teddy bear will take damage for you and you don't want that. Okay, he's choosing to go to PRV. So this makes for a little bit of an interest. We'll get to see, you know, what sort of fight he's looking to take, if he's going to go for the life noodles. Alright, so there's enemies right there. You want a red swirl because the enemies will hit you first. And it's just a little bit faster than having to do your actions. Ooh, he has really high HP.
Yeah,
so you're going to use an ATM card and... well, I wouldn't have defended, I'd have just bashed, but that works. Because you don't want to kill the enemies. So we use the ATM card to just kind of pass the turn along. This is a really good battle here.
Unfortunately, they're both really aggressive enemies.
Okay, so that wasn't bad. That would have been definitely a lot faster than the mole. So Ceriam is on the Runaway 5 bus, making all kinds of racket. He'll be heading to 3 now. Now, the graveyard, it can be a bit brutal. You may walk through, you know, without any issue, or you may have to despawn 25 times. Quattro is going to have to do all the same little story triggers. You got to revive Paula, bring her to her dad, and then you need to get the wad of bills from Everdread. Now, Everdread is an optional boss. You don't actually have to fight him. If you did fight him beforehand, he would actually be in his house. Whereas we don't, so he just jumps from the roof. It's a little bit of a time save.
There's just a strange guy in the park intimidating you, jumping down and says, "Here, take $10,000.
Alright, so Quattro's choosing to go to the left. You can actually go to the right, and then if you look off to the right, there's a little tree. You can cut between the tree and the fence. It's a bit faster. Alright, so Cerium's getting dropped off now. He's going to walk up and around everything here. He's going to walk up into the graveyard. Like a maniped route, you'd actually walk off to the left and hit the drugstore, but it's faster to walk between the buildings. The general strat is to walk up here because if anything's below you, it'll get stuck on the graves. And you do want to walk below this big grave here because it avoids a spawn plate above. And this is not going so well. So ghosts, they're a little weird. They can clip through objects. I don't know why, but they tend to do that at the worst moment. So you just got to go up here, walk away. You got to hit that little grass patch there. Now, there can be flies off to the left, and they can sometimes be dangerous and fly over and grab you anyway.
Death at this point wouldn't be bad.
Not a terrible graveyard.
If you were to die, you just spawn back where you dropped off, and you go straight to the hotel at that point. So wouldn't be too much of a time loss. Only that of the flight.
So this is a very provocatively dressed lady taking you to a hotel room. Apparently, Ness thought that was a good idea. So you get captured, and Polo somehow uses psychic abilities to communicate with our third member of the team. This is the best member of Earthbound. I don't care what you say.
And it happens to be the name of the group that's racing right now, Group Jeff.
Alright, so Quattro starting up the show here. It'll be about a minute before he can start doing anything else. And Cerium will be heading into Winters now. Alright, so Jeff, he is going to be accompanied by Tony. Now, I want you to pay attention to the exclamation point above Tony, and just look at where it's at.
I never noticed that before.
It has been confirmed that Tony is gay, but it's not confirmed that Jeff is too. They don't actually mention it anywhere in-game, but I think it's kind of cool that they added that in there. But yeah, they put it in a very strange place. So this is their teacher. He's a bit of a butthead. He likes to troll you.
This guy pisses me off.
He's like, oh hey, you guys are leaving, you know? You're not supposed to be out, but you know, here's a key. Go get some stuff out of the locker. Also, make sure you call me.
It pisses me off so much.
So what do? You go in here and you try to use the key. Oh, it doesn't work. And then this guy's just like, it didn't work? Ha ha ha, I knew that.
I know this is supposed to be part of conveyance and teaching you how to use a device that will open doors that you use conveniently one more time after this, but why couldn't they just give you the bad key machine out front? You're still getting the same thing, saying, oh, the key's missing, here you go, use this instead. Ugh.
I have no idea, but he's just rude. Like, Proto is the hardest enemy in the game. Bubble Monkey is the worst character in the game. But I want to say, you know, he fits right in the middle of them too. It's like he wastes just all that time for absolutely no reason. Alright, Quattro's heading into 3 now. We'll see how his graveyard goes. It could be a little bit of time save for him. So Bubble Monkey is objectively the worst enemy or worst character ever. Like, there's never been a game where you've had a worse character. He follows you around. He's constantly updating RNG every time he stops and dances around. And he likes to stop when you don't want him to stop. Okay, the dog got stuck. That's good.
Now, one of the fun things, as I put together the information for the bot, I found out that some of our allies have stats as well, and I'm going to post what Bubble Monkey's stats are. He has a large amount of HP and defense. And explains why he also does 7 damage. I don't know if it's possible for Bubble Monkey to actually die in battle. Don't know if he has a script where the HP automatically goes back up. But the only time Bubble Monkey gets targeted is when the worthless protoplasm gets confused and starts randomly targeting himself or other party members. So I don't know if it's possible or if Bubble Monkey re-heals every turn. We can dive in there and find out later on, but I'm not sure. So here we have Tessie, fan favorite of a lot of people, and Quatropus is getting captured. So we are in a little bit of a cutscene land here. No, actually, the extra party members do not have undefined values because they are into battle, so they need some kind of stats to work off of. If they were to go in without stats, then we might have some issues. So that's why they have some fun stat values assigned. Even Tony has some stat values for battle, even though he never makes it into there. I'll pull them up quickly and I'll just post them for fun. They might look somewhat familiar.
And you'll see Ceriam here. He's going to be doing a specific walk. He's going to walk down left here, and he's going to walk straight down. And by doing this, you're going to actually skip this 100% spawn plate here of a rough goat. And now we get to see the worst enemy in the entire Earthbound. This is the hardest enemy ever. So you can skip him. It's really difficult to do. There's a pretty tight setup that you have to work on.
Weighing in at 38 HP, 11 offense, 21 defense, and 27 speed. The worthless protoplasm.
So they could kill you in 3 hits pretty much. And it's not a good time because then you have to go back out there and walk in again and just it can end up in a loop.
And due to the massive speed difference between Jeff and the worthless protoplasm, you start off with a negative chance to run, so you have to wait a couple turns before you even have a chance. So it's usually around turn 5 that your chance starts being semi-realistic of running away.
So as you saw, Ceriam actually did a duck skip there. There are 2 different positions he can be. He can either go below that little corner there, or he can be as far left as possible. Sometimes the far left one doesn't work. Sometimes he'll move up from the bottom one. In that case, he got very lucky. The setup worked pretty quickly. Now, ideally, you're just going to take the fight if it's going to take too long to set it up. He may spawn way up left, and it's just too difficult.
Another fan favorite segment coming up here is Pond Cave. Filled with just a couple of not too bad enemies if you were to encounter them solo. The slug you can actually kill if you get in an encounter by itself. You've got the rowdy mouse making a return. And then in the following rooms, you've got the ramblin' mushrooms, which just suck.
Pond Cave can be a bit brutal. Now, you may get a free walk through here, or you may have to spend forever trying to get through this point. So, ideally, you want to have the first room of each area free, because that'll give you the opportunity to kind of despawn what's in the next room, or choose to stutter. Ceriam here, he's having a pretty good pond cave. Alright, Quattro is making his way down here. We'll see if Bubble Monkey wants to play dirty. The problem with Bubble Monkey is when you go to despawn to the left, something may come over at you and he'll stop and you'll get caught over it. It's not a fun time there. Now the dog fight is optimal if you're going to get into one, because the dog could give you a bread roll, which could be really useful for later on. Alright, Ceriam is done with Pond Cave. That's a pretty good time. So there's some cave boys here. They are pretty dangerous. You do not want to get in a fight with them. And, I mean, they're really slow, so you can get around them pretty quickly.
These cave boys are unique. These cave boys don't return. There's actually a different cave boy loaded when you come back later on in the full run. The first cave boy here has about 5 speed, so running away is a viable strat, but a lot of times, if you do get caught, at least in my purview here, is it just sucks, and I never seem to get away. But they do have a picnic lunch guaranteed to drop.
Quattro hopping on Tessie here. Can we show Tessie some love? Even if you don't have it. Tessie is just the most humble of creatures. Nessie is just an abomination. What is that, man? I mean, how could you not love that derpy face?
And 1 frame.
So the Skyrunner is about 2.5 minutes cutscene here. We'll be seeing Jeff fly back through here, and he'll attempt to rescue Ness and Paula. His piloting skills are not very good. He tends to wreck it every time he lands. Alright, so we'll see Quattro do a very similar movement. I mean, he's walking a little bit further than you really need to, but gets the job done. We'll see how he fares against the hardest enemy in Earthbound. He's going for the skip, and Bubble Monkey stopped. So this is a very bad start. You don't want him to open up with an attack, especially not dodge. So he's choosing to defend here. It's a viable strat. You can just defend 4 times and then try to run. If he calls for help, usually it's around 7 turns before you can run. So in this case, he can run right now if he really wanted to. And there he goes for the run. Okay, so I mean, that's a perfectly acceptable way to do it.
Fortunate that it only attacked once.
Probably wouldn't use a boiled egg, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So he's gonna go for the duck setup. He probably should have just went for the fight here. Okay. So we need the duck to go left. If it doesn't, ideally you want to walk as far left as possible to get him stuck. And he decided to go after him anyway. Duck's like, I think 4 hits. It's usually not too dangerous. He does about 12 damage, but he can actually hit you 3 times in a row and kill you. And I think the duck can smash on you too.
I'm surprised on how much the mad duck actually can hit before too. I'm like, all right, let's go. And it's taking a while, and I'm just surprised at how long it lasts.
So the second proto skip, generally you want to get Bubble Monkey to stop moving and then go for it. And you want to go over till it aggroes you and then go down below it. problem is sometimes Bubble Monkey will either not move in time or he'll just stop. It's a bit skill and a bit RNG to do it. Ceriam's making his way down to Boogey Tent now. He could choose to stop and buy a couple bottle rockets or just head on in. So there's a few different things you could do here. Boogey Tent's got 685 HP, I believe. You could do a rockin', freeze, and then go for the BBR. Or play it safe like he's doing here and just do defend BBR because, ooh, that was a really low roll. Like Jeff, he dies really quickly. Now he should have probably healed first. I guess it's fine if you're just doing the safe strat. But yeah, you want to actually get that BBR off. If you don't get that BBR off, it's basically a reset. Or in this case, he would take a death. So far, nobody's died, so that's a good thing. But he's going to have to rely on praying. And that could take a couple minutes. This is why we tell you, I mean, it's not over till it's over. So Paula's dead. This is going to be most likely a death. This is unfortunate. Oof. So he's going to life up here. And I mean, at this point, all he can do is auto fight and hope for the best. Now, the problem here is if he didn't save the defense spray, he would actually have like an... Ooh, nice. That was really good. So yeah, he said he skipped the teddy bear. Really? I mean, that's only a 5-second time save. It's not worth it. That was a really good time there, though. So... why didn't SRL update? Okay, well, Ceriam come in with a 106.18. Very good boogie time. Congratulations to Ceriam on advancing. Okay, well, his official SRL time is 106.39. Alright, Quattro made it through. He's going to be jumping on the Skyrunner now. We'll see how his boogie time goes.
Ceriam at this point is going to be showing off one of the favorite things to do after a bogey percent run, and that's to stop into the 3 tent and check this corner, which actually allows you to check off of the playing area into the abyss, which causes lag and fun things to happen, and potentially, if you're extremely lucky, the debug menu, but most likely you end up in a crash or random stuff happening.
So from the moment that Bubble Monkey walks away from you, it's right around 1 minute and 2 seconds, give or take how long it takes you to get away from the Ooh, Ceriam over here. He's glitching out the screen. So actually Quattro had something very similar to this earlier. You get very random things. You're pulling from memory that doesn't exist whenever you're checking that, because that map is just right there at the bottom corner. So you really never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you could warp to different areas, you could pull up cutscenes, you could pull up the debug menu, or just outright crash like this.
Alright, I think for the sake of our eyes, I'm going to take that off of our screen, and for anyone's bitrate who doesn't have the strongest one here.
I do like that the fact that the cutscene here kind of gives you a brief idea of what's to come,
I
like
do
future
have to pop
areas.
it back up on screen. It did fully crash now. So we don't have to worry about the bit rate anymore. Quatropus circling around in, zeroing in for the crash here. We'll see what kind of luck that Boogey tent brings to Quattro.
So ideally, you want to finish him off in one round with the BBR. It is possible to do. It's not really likely, but it's really good when it does happen. So what you do want to happen is on the second round, you want to rock in, defend with Paula or freeze, whichever you choose to do, and then use the bottle rocket, and you want him to kill Paula, because it's less levels you have to worry about gaining. It may not seem like much, but with her being out of the picture, I think it's like 15 seconds you save. So we're seeing Jeff join the party here. Most likely he'll be getting the teddy bear. Unless you are neck and neck with another racer, always grab it. So you can see he did a little skip here. He didn't hit the door and bring up the text that says the door's locked. And ceriam here is still advancing.
Oh geez, it's still going. I thought I locked up.
Yeah. I guess he walked away. Oh, he pulled up the debug menu. So, yeah, Quattro did the same thing earlier. That's awesome that both runners did this. Now you can get trolled going through the trees here. There could be an enemy behind this sign, and it can get you.
Oh, those are the worst. Handsome Tom hiding behind there and Pumpkin Kid. Oh.
Oh, ceriam decided to warp somewhere. And he warped to the final post credits. That is cool. Hey, Quattro taking down Boogey Tent. Oh, and the Star Storm crash. You may want to take him off now.
Well, there's no difference right now.
So this is like, I think it was 35 seconds of mashing you gotta do here.
Whatever it is.
It may not seem like it, but mashing speed can make a difference here. I mean, you could drop it down by like 2 seconds, and that 2 seconds could be the deciding
It just
factor
feels
in a
like
race.
forever, no matter how long it is.
Alright, Quattro finished with an official SRL time of 1:12:31. Congratulations to both runners. You put up just a valiant effort
Both
here.
really strong times, I would say, for starting off with the Super Series here. So give both runners a follow here. They did a good job today.
And a loss here does not mean you're out. You do have a chance against other racers to win. It just means that he will need to win, I believe, the next 3.
You'll need 3 out of 5
to move on.
advance. So at this point, I would say that concludes our first Super Series race. Thank you, Erythium, for your commentary on this race. It was great working with you on this.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
With that, our next scheduled Super Series race is going to be tomorrow, October 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is, tomorrow, October 7th, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'm looking at the wrong line here. And that's going to be between Daniel RGT and you, Erythium 1. Hope you're ready for tomorrow's race there, Erythium.
I'm excited. Daniel is a very, very good runner, and he's very competitive. And I think it's just going to be an awesome race.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. But at this point, I think we're going to sign off here. Have a good evening, good day, and enjoy your time, everyone.
All right, have an awesome day, everyone.